Can I have a ribbon?
You have a ribbon? I would yes. We are Innocent.
Wait, what's the ribbon for? Oh.
Yours is over here.
Oh, hashtag. No. You're not actually on this panel.
You're right.
That's awesome.
What are you saying?
Clearly. Right, so I guess we're early. Should we tell them that we're going to pop out underneath the table? I mean, they already see us.
Wait, where's Emily? Did we lose Emily? No, she's gone there. Oh, Emily. Terrible. Ruining this.
I'll take her place. That's the other Emily.
My name is Emily, but I'll Carson.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, what happened?
So welcome to YoungTubers.
You just arrived. Get onto it, okay? We're in an actual panel now. Dude, where'd it go? Okay, Anthony, you're moderating the panel.
I am. Hello.
Do it.
So hello everybody. Welcome to YoungTubers. I'm glad that you all are here. It's really exciting. This is kind of like nuts. My name is Anthony D'Angelo. I'll be moderating this panel. Kind of goes without saying, right, that there's a lot of young people here at VidCon and on YouTube as a whole. I think oftentimes it feels like the sort of 13 to 17 demographic gets sort of reduced to just that, a demographic. It's a group to be marketed to, and not sort of thought of as it really is, which is a growing, learning body of young people who are a really huge part of the new media landscape that we all occupy. So we want to make this panel about how we can make our space better. How can we first describe how it is to be a young person on YouTube, and then figure out how to improve that state. So without further ado, let's get to introducing our panelists. We're just going to go down the line, and everyone's going to introduce themselves. I'm nervous. So yeah, we want to have like 10 minutes of questions at the end, so yeah, get your questions ready. So yeah, want to start here?
I'm first, okay. Hey guys, my name is Aaron Williams. I'm in... Stop. Keep going. I make videos on the channel AbracaAwesome. I do vlogs, short films, music videos, cool montage videos with like cool music behind it. Just kind of a lot of different things. Think Mitchell Davis mixed with Nana Kitty, but like better. I'm just
Shots fired.
Hello, I am TeeJay Hannon of AdventuresforAwesome.
The power.
All sorts of videos. I have no idea what I really do. I make films in my bathtub, interact with my future self quite often, and most recently I'm streaming through VidCon, which has been fun. I just streamed with John and Hank Green.
I got a selfie with John Green, that's all I have to say.
Oh, thank you for like getting us. We're not fans, we're creators.
We are creators. I created a selfie with John Green.
Hello, my name is Alyssa. My channel is DelPaueTV. I know it's such a weird channel name. Don't ask me about that because I was trying to make people not find my channel. So that's why the name is so weird. But basically what I do is make horribly unfunny jokes and vlog myself while doing it. So that's basically it.
She's being really humble. She makes good videos.
So good.
She also does makeup.
So good.
Makeup artists are serious people on YouTube, and if you say anything bad about them,
The door is over there.
Okay, hi, I'm Sabrina from NerdyAndQuirky. I basically was John Green that one time, and that's why most of you probably know me. I make funny videos on the internet, or at least I laugh at them. My mother doesn't laugh at them.
I'm sunburnt.
Hi, Sunburn.
I'm Emily. I'm from the channel Onmywaytohogwarts, and I do the music thing. Oh, speaking of music thing, 5 to 7 secret show over by the concert hall.
I guess it's not that secret.
Okay. Hello, my name is Holly from the channel thisisnotHolly. I'm Australian, obviously, which makes me sound a little weird, but hopefully people understand what I'm saying. I tend to make videos about things like social issues recently, big into things like feminism and pointing out interesting things about our world. I feel like I have an audience that really likes to discuss important things, so I think that's really fantastic. Speaking of discussing important things, let's discuss being young on YouTube.
What?
Segway!
I don't know why you got me here. So yeah, let's do just that. So yeah, I was thinking there was gonna be a lot more parents here, like trying to figure out like who.
Hi, Mom.
Who?
Can the parents use their hands?
Yeah, parents.
You have a space here.
Trying to figure out like what your kids are doing. This whole like YouTube thing is probably kind of weird. So I don't know. I think that's sort of like an intro to what we do. Could you like describe like what your experience on YouTube has been and kind of the impact it's had on you socially, academically, professionally?
Okay, because parents seem to care a lot about academics, I'm going to tell you this one thing. I do videos on YouTube very often. I get mostly weekly videos, and I still am on honor roll at school. So YouTube doesn't turn out together.
Like, you learn things in a different way. Like, one time I sat on a Skype call with YouTube for an hour talking about different currency around the world, and I learned so much. Like, that's cool. That's not cool. What? Too cool for school. Okay.
And then when it comes down to social issues, I have really bad anxiety sometimes. I have trouble talking to people, but YouTube has helped me come out of my shell a lot more. I am talking to a room full of people, and it's really helped me out. So go YouTube!
Another thing about social issues is that I consider myself a feminist, and I would not be as much of a feminist right now if it wouldn't be for like the culture that surrounds feminism on YouTube. And I think it's so important that us young kids are learning that, because there's so much change that we can create in the world. And if we get started now, like, our future's gonna be dope.
What would you guys like to say?
In regards to school, I apologize. I usually use YouTube to procrastinate, but I've graduated, so I'm okay. I'm not a good role model though. Make it work, kids. kids.
Can I ask you guys, what are your school plans? Like, where are you guys at? High school, college, what's your plan?
Well, TeeJay, where are you going to college?
I'm going to the same college you're going to.
Yeah, we are.
Champlain College.
Sorry, it's not.
Yeah.
What are you going to school for?
Creative media. Which I would not have done without YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting thing is the way that YouTube has sort of affected the way that I view what I want to do with my life. Before becoming, interested in YouTube, there is no way that I would have thought of going into film and digital media, which is what I'm doing at the moment. And I think that happened to most of our panelists, actually. I think YouTube really sparked a love for everything digital media and film in all of us.
I'm going to school for math, so...
I'm going for filmmaking. Oh, yeah. I'm going to answer both questions because I didn't answer the first one. So the way YouTube has impacted my life as a young person, it kind of helped me realize what I want to do with my life, like many others film. I did, 4 years of high school, like media class, and I'm going to art school for film. So, and I graduated this year, by the way.
Wait, then I guess I'll answer both too. YouTube has opened my mind to all the arts. When I was younger, somebody told me I can't be an artist. They're like, you're not making any money after that, so you can't be an artist. But being on YouTube and watching YouTube has made me realize there's more than just drawing. That's why I like makeup and film and editing and all that stuff. That's a form of art, and that's what I want to do. For school, I am going to an art school. I want to go to the Art Institute of LA, hopefully, when I graduate. And my mom will let me go to California, so hopefully she'll let me go and, I'll go to school there, because art is a huge part of my life, and I hope it will always be. Yeah.
A lot of us are talking about, going into film and new media industries as a profession. How does your position as like a young person in what is becoming a more industrialized new media space, how do you feel going into that world?
Guys, I have a story for you. It is a story about this bag.
I know the story, it's a good story.
So, I somehow got my hands on being a special guest for this. I did interviews for the Hollywire red carpet. No big deal. And I was walking in for the special guest registration as opposed to the not special, the community registration.
You're all special.
And I was stopped repeatedly and told that I was supposed to be in the community registration. And although I know that they're just doing their jobs, they're trying their best to make sure this event is organized, it hurts me to think that just because I am a young person on the internet, a young girl, that I'm automatically considered a fan of a creator, of some British YouTuber, as opposed to a creator who is speaking at a panel. So that's gotta change soon.
Yeah, dude.
We talked briefly in our little group Facebook chat about our viewership numbers and what chunk of our viewership was the 13-17 demographic. I didn't have them written down, but do any of you remember off the top of your head how many subscribers you have, and also how many of your what chunk of your viewership is that?
Mine is over 50%. I know that.
Over 50%.
Yeah, apparently out of my about 11K subscribers, 57% are between that demographic.
I'm sorry, I didn't look. I'm unprepared.
I think mine was like 54%. I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was somewhere around 70%.
So it's really clear that young people are enthusiastic about creators, as seen by the hordes of people running after certain YouTubers. But of course, by looking at you all here, you're all individuals, you're all amazing, possibly creators. I know that there's a fair few of you.
Raise your hand if you have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
And I think that's what's really interesting about YouTube is it does give young people that sort of intro into the professional world. Like, I'm partnered with Big Frame and part of Wonderly and things, and that's not something that you see most people. Well, I was 16 when I was partnered with Big Frame. That's not a thing that you think about happening at those young high school ages. you tend to think that that professional world is reserved for people with degrees and for, you know, those professional high-end adults. But the thing about YouTube is that anyone has a chance to produce what they want to produce, and that's why it's such a unique platform.
And like the cool thing about YouTube is that you can find other people who share that common interest. Because I know, like, being young and in high school, it's sometimes hard to find people who share the same interests as you do. So then you can take to YouTube and make really cool friends. I'm not looking at you. No. Just kidding.
So there's a man named Henry Jenkins who is at USC's Media Arts and Practice program, and he's done a lot of the foundational writing about like new media and education. And a lot of the stuff they talked about is this idea of like participatory culture, this idea that like everyone here, like we instead of being like a consumer culture, we're active participants in, we have an active stake in the culture that we're producing and consuming. So along those lines, how relative to other things in your life, how much of a role does YouTube play in like your daily activities? Like what kind of stake do you have in this culture?
Here, Aaron or Alyssa?
What kind of role YouTube?
What kind of, like relative to like, okay, school, work, etc. Where does YouTube fit into that, like?
I mean, I'd love to make YouTube my work. That's the, ethereal dream I think lots of people share. And I feel that YouTube is an excellent platform because you can kind of practice and refine yourself in front of an audience, and then they can either boo you down or raise you up. Hopefully raise you up. Be kind to each other. And you just develop your own skills, and then you get better and better, and eventually, hopefully, you can make it your livelihood, whether it be on YouTube or as a professional filmmaker, as I would like to be.
Yeah, and the whole realm of like the whole work thing. For those of you who are like filmmakers or make things on YouTube, not just filmmakers, but like musicians or anything, YouTube is basically kind of your digital resume. It's a catalog of years of things that you've made that you can show to people and, get work, which is what I do. That's like my job, is making videos for people, like freelance work. So it would be nice to like make YouTube kind of this full-time job thing, but I guess making videos is almost that. I get to do what I love, and YouTube kind of opened that door for me.
I think I've always seen YouTube as a hobby. It's just been that I never thought I'd get as far in this as I have to be speaking on a panel. I sort of saw it as a way to broadcast myself, as YouTube's logo is, just as a stage to be able to say things and be heard. And I think that's a unique thing as well, is as you start to build up a viewership and build up people who are interested in what you're saying, you actually feel like you're getting to speak about important things to a whole group of people just by being in your room, and that's fantastic.
I think the cool thing about YouTube, I'm going to quote my favorite authors. His name's Jonathan Ordell, and I went and I saw him speak. He was talking about, he's a gay man, and he's going to a Catholic church to talk about being gay. He didn't want to do it, and he's like, my story is not mine, it is mine to connect me to other people. And like, I think that's so beautiful, and I think YouTube really encapsulates that, especially with our community. Like, I talked, like, one of my favorite videos that I've ever made that was like really, like, I just liked it, it was good. It was about my sexuality or whatever, and how I don't identify with sexuality label. And I got so many people like, oh, me too, and it like sparked this beautiful conversation, and that's something I probably wouldn't have been confident enough to say had it not been for YouTube. And I think that's important that people, when we're young, we're finding out who we are, and they're like, oh no, it's just phase, whatever, but like, dude, no, get me.
What got you guys to make your first video?
Kirsten Hippie. I was inspired by Kirsten to make videos, just saying.
Yes.
She's wonderful.
I am one of the more unoriginal type people because the big vloggers are the ones who inspired me to start YouTube. It was John Green, Hank Green, Charlie McDonald. Who else did that? And it's kind of weird now imagining yourself, because back then I just wanted to start YouTube to meet them. It's kind of very shallow reasoning, but it was. But the more you grow on YouTube, the more you realize that content creators are people as well. And I feel like that's an issue that we should sometimes discuss all the time, actually.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the last question for a second because you skipped over me. For me, I don't want to make YouTube just a job. I want to keep it as my hobby because I do want something more. I just want to grow on YouTube and grow an audience and, you know, really help other people out and inspire them in what they want to do. Because I know sometimes like people feel like they can't do what they want. And my ultimate goal on YouTube is to make sure people know they can do what they want, and that's what I ultimately want. Is to what, like, I want to do what I want. So that's what my YouTube goal is for starters.
So it's a creative outlet.
Yeah.
First video, or I'll tell my first video. So vlogging and filmmaking had nothing to do with how I started YouTube. I started YouTube to learn magic tricks, and hence the name AbracaAwesome. Light bulbs everywhere. So yeah, I started just making magic videos on YouTube, and then I got into vlogging from like people like Destry, Destinate. Does anybody watch that? Yeah, those are the people who kind of inspired me to start vlogging. So, Anthony, what about you?
Why I start? Yeah, so in the program, my channel listed as LegoSharkProductions because when I was 12, I started making Lego stop motion animation. So there's a YouTube user named 23,000 who made very funny little animations, and I was like, I can do that. So I did for a while, and now I do like educational videos about YouTube. Yeah. One of the
They want to speak.
I sort of started out on YouTube as a fan. Like I sat around the outsides of the community, watched a lot of people, both small content creators and big content creators, and then I thought, hey, I want to give this a go because I reckon I can do it. And it's interesting because I have the philosophy of I never delete a YouTube video. So you can go back on my channel, which please, like, don't. And you can just see all the phases I've been through with my content, and some of them are embarrassing, all of them are embarrassing. But you can definitely see how what I wanted to talk about has shifted my objective of, you know, I think before I wanted to make it on YouTube, when now it's more a medium for me to connect with friends and connect with people all around the world, but you can just see that change over time, and it's really crazy to be able to just map your adolescence. Like that's especially a YoungTubers thing, I think, is, you know, those of us who started young, you can go back and you can watch yourself talking at like 13, 14, and I mean it's terribly embarrassing and you hate yourself, but it's also a really unique thing. I don't think most other people get to do that.
Yeah, I don't remember who I heard say this, but it's like an interesting observation. We're the last generation that won't have our entire lives documented on the internet. Like babies born today are going to their Instagram like the day they come in. So it's, or the day they come out. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so it's cool to have that to go back to, even though everybody cringes at their like old self, no matter what age you are, because you know you get smarter and better with every year. But it's awesome to have that to kind of look back on and see how you've changed and grown.
That's a good segue into this question. So like we're young, we're growing, and so is YouTube, the platform. So going back to your comment about what fan culture is like. What things are you guys doing to like set a precedent for people in this media space?
I think something important, like with fan, creator, whatever, is just remember people are people. Like we're all people, and I think that's what people forget. Like I was talking to Anthony, and I were with my friend Michael. We were talking with Michael Roth yesterday, and he's like, so many people forget that content creators are people. And I think that's so important to remember. That people are people, and people can make mistakes, and you don't have to learn from them. But sometimes people make mistakes, and they're gross, and then we cast them out. But
I think it's a really interesting thing to be able to talk critically on YouTube and to be able to actually assess our community for what it is and get down to the roots of it. Realize the strange power structures that happen on YouTube, how we can dismantle them or how we can support them depending on what they're doing. Just really being selective about the content you support as well, the people that you support, and acknowledging that you're only seeing a very one-sided view of people. Me and my friends have this game at the moment at VidCon when you see a horde of screaming fangirls start screaming and running towards people who start screaming out things like, I don't know how to respect people. I I don't see people for real people and stuff.
And when it comes down to imagining those YouTubers complexly, just realize that you're only seeing their upper half. Probably in all of their videos, they're not wearing pants.
I feel like I'm the only YouTuber that actually does wear pants in their videos. Sorry. You're my YouTube. Let's talk about that.
Okay. So, that's what we're talking about, right? I think every YouTuber, their whole fan base or subscriber viewership base, they kind of create their own little subculture, and the subcultures of the big culture of YouTube. It's Inception, basically. So I try to, with my viewers and with the reach that I have, I try to create this culture of everyone is kind of the same. Like, I'm not trying to, I don't want to put myself above someone else. That's why I don't call my subscribers fans. I call them like supporters or subscribers or viewers, and try to set the precedent that like we are all pretty much the same. We all can, there's nothing I'm doing that like it's different than what you can do. Like, we can all pick up a camera and try to be funny. So, yeah.
Yeah, and once people start realizing that, I've seen people like screaming like, oh my god, I want to be friends with them. But if you scream and act out about seeing probably one of your favorite people or persons on Earth, don't act crazy, because they're not gonna, that's creating an even bigger distance between you and the content creator. I know I recently just met Mikey Bolts in the back. You probably don't know him, I don't know. He was the most down-to-earth person. He was really tired because he was like going around meeting people and all that stuff, but he was so down-to-earth, and I just had a conversation with him, and it was really awesome. Like, I'd rather have a conversation with my favorite content creator than to just scream at them, get a photo, maybe an autograph, and run away like a psycho. So it's better just to speak to them, have a conversation, really get to know them, because you're only seeing how many minutes, maybe 3 minutes of their life, and you know, you just gotta be down to earth to them, or you won't ever have that relationship with them. You're gonna create a bigger distance between you and the content creator.
Just a quick note. I just want a quick note though. My fellow panelists are making excellent points about the issue of how fans treat creators, but creators have a certain responsibility as well.
Yes.
Because a lot of them, I'm not saying all of them, I think my fellow people are very down to earth, but there's this idea that, oh, how dare you not imagine me complexly, but at the same time, whoa, I lost my train of thought.
We're not imagining that complexity.
Exactly.
I think it's very easy to say, like, acknowledge that content creators are real complex people, but I think content creators also have a responsibility to acknowledge that even their vast audience isn't like each person is individual and a complex person as well, and they have to acknowledge their demographic and what, you know, they might be fostering by what they talk about on YouTube.
Because numbers, like, it can go to your head really fast. Yeah. Oh yeah, it can go, like, even someone like me, like, I don't have that huge an audience or whatever, but like, it can get to my head sometimes. And I think it's important to acknowledge that and to say, okay, take a step back from this for a minute and know that those numbers, they're not numbers, they are individual people who are supporting me in what I love to do. And like, that's not something I need to take for granted.
So just in case anybody in this audience becomes super YouTube famous, don't be mean about it.
Viewers and fans are not fans, they're friends.
Subscribers are friends, not food.
I think a lot of creators tend to make that whole, like, that conversation about YouTube culture and fan culture pretty one-sided, and kind of make it seem like it's bad to be a fan. Fans are awesome. I'm a fan. We all not start as fans. We are continue to be fans. We all came here to meet people. We all love to see people, and it's awesome to look up to people and what they do and aspire to be, you know, as talented or as skilled or as, you know, any insert personality trait here that they are. So there's a difference between admiring and idolizing, and that's kind of where that has to work.
The line has to be drawn.
But do you guys think that there's, with audiences and their interactions with you, do you think there's a point of diminishing returns for that? Like, do you think it's still a wise thing to say that we're peers with someone like John Green, Tyler Oakley, people with those types of big audiences who is like fashion.
Can you repeat the question?
Do you think it's still okay to call yourselves like to call ourselves peers with the people who are up there? Like, is it okay just to approach them and say we are on an equal footing when this is like their job, the profession?
Well, I imagine peers, you have to be on equal levels, and sadly, as much as I would like to say yes, we are not on equal levels with them. They have far more levels of experience, they've had far more fan interactions, they treat it as a profession. And while we're on our way there, that's an important thing to know. And while we're on our way there, it's important to once again see things for what they truly are, whether or not it's people or if it's your position on the platform. And I note that I'm in this weird in-between space of being like a small YouTuber, but on my way to growing.
I didn't say anything.
And it's really odd seeing that disconnect because there's only ever small YouTubers and big YouTubers. So, by the way, you guys should check out the Less Than Famous panel because they're also going to be talking about stuff like this. And somebody else take the thing.
Okay. I think bringing it back to being young on YouTube as well, there's definitely that sort of age dichotomy. Being, younger people in our teens, there's no way that we can feel on the exact same power level as, adults who are really doing this thing for real because, they have that life experience, they have more professional opportunities, even though I was talking about how we do have professional opportunities as young people. But I think there's definitely a completely different set of circumstances. And you can definitely see everyone as old people, but when you come down to it, there are power structures within YouTube that we have to be critical of.
And those things do have their place, though, in my opinion. Because, of course, somebody who's a massive YouTuber needs to be more protected than somebody who's never been heard of. But you're right, being critical about it is important. I'm sorry, that was just a critical.
I guess moving from the professional / culture side of things, what about the social aspect for you guys? Are you guys still making friends with either fans, viewers, these sorts of people?
People come up to me, even here, and like, hey, I watch your videos, and I'm like, what's up? Let's have a chit chat. And it's so cool, to meet people. I don't know, I love friends. That's why I started doing YouTube, was to make friends, and it's awesome.
And just yesterday, I did this thing called Chill Squad. I just tweeted out, Chill Squad.
Chill Squad.
Chill Squad is going to be there 5 to 7 secret jokes.
I just did this impromptu meetup where a whole bunch of people who followed me on Twitter just came up and we sat down and just spoke. And that idea of creator and viewer just completely left because it was just a normal conversation with awesome people who love YouTube. And I think that's what it should be down to the core of it, just discussions, because we have been given access to this platform to be able to communicate. It's not just text, it's not just audio, it's visuals, it's everything that we have access to. And if we're not going to use it to talk about things we're passionate about things we love, then what's the point? Let's talk.
And with talking, we get a community. I had the opportunity to meet some friends that are here today, and I got to meet new people who are here, and it's really exciting to meet them because I do watch their content, and they are amazing people, and just to meet them in person and have a conversation with them without seeing them on screen, on the YouTube screen, that is awesome, so it's awesome.
I make new friends every day, and the best part about VidCon is being able to see them in person. And it is definitely the best part about being a YouTuber is making new connections, meeting new people, and making new friends.
Yeah, I talked to a guy yesterday about cactus soda.
I was there!
I don't know how that happened, but now best friends with him, totally.
Also, meeting people in real life, I've had so many dance battles. Dude. Kelly knows.
So how do you guys, I bet you talk about internet friends, right? How do you sort of navigate those long distance friendships?
Google Hangouts are life.
it's just like a lot of tears and a lot of sad loneliness sometimes.
But I mean, it's super cool, like, to say that I have friends from Canada and Australia, and that, like, even though there's, like, distance, I don't know what I'm saying, but we can still have friendship, because it's cool to remember that the world is more than just where you are. And I think that's something that, I know you're going to try and speak, but I'm going to finish. It's important to know that there are different people who view the world differently, and it's cool to learn about how people view the world and their stories and stuff.
And also friendships based on proximity, like your high school friends. You're friends with them a lot of the times, sadly, because you see each other every day. There are the few close friendships, but for the most part, it's because you're in the same class with them, you sit next to them. Internet friendships, you have to pursue it. It's based on common interests. And I find that a lot more fulfilling than just, can you help me with my math homework? We'll be friends if you do.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's amazing. Like, the internet is such a cool thing. Like, I planned a rap battle parody collab video with my friend in Belgium. That sentence would not make sense in 1990. Like, that's amazing. Like, it's awesome to be able to make friends with people. Like Sabrina said, making friends through common interests and passions is way more fulfilling than just making friends through proximity. So definitely Google Hangouts is an amazing thing. You can talk to all your friends, and also things like this.
Also, Hangouts against humanity? What up?
That's how you lose friends. Yeah, and coming to things like VidCon and playlists where you can see them in person, it's crazy.
But also, one thing is that sometimes people have trouble starting out finding internet friends. It's hard to, they see a niche of people that they want to talk to, but they don't know how. Do we want to talk about how?
Yes.
Collab channels.
Collab channels. I was a, what is it called? Fill-in on a collab channel. And then I met my friend Chloe there. Just something, hi Chloe. And then, like, you just meet people to people. And that's cool. Or you just.
So basically, if you want internet friends, join a collab channel.
I don't know, I feel like I have a really awesome circle of friends, and it's massive and all over the globe, and it's just a whole network of amazing people who, you know, totally enrich my life. And it's strange how you just tend to know people through mutual friends, and I think getting to know people just comes down to talking to that one person who you think is cool and seeing if you're compatible as friends, and just going from there, and you end up meeting a whole bunch of great people who have similar interests because there's such a wide breadth of people to choose from, and you end up with those people who you're really similar to.
We love you, Holly.
If you want to be friends with someone on the internet, basically go and talk to them as if they're already your friend, and then eventually they will be your friend. Don't act as if there's a divide. Just pretend you're like, oh, hey, bud, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess we're talking now, and eventually they'll talk, and then they'll talk to you back.
Yeah, because most of the time when people are, like, on the internet, like, want to be friends, it's, like, a little overwhelming, and you're like, I guess, okay there. But, like, if you, like, talk about, like, a common interest or something, like Sabrina said. Like, the reason I'm friends with Sabrina is because we had a common idea. I sent her an Alyssa video on Tumblr, and then it's here.
That common idea was this. This is our baby.
Or, like, just already. No, but I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Could you guys give some more examples of like, the distances? Give some context for, like, the types of relationships that you've built. Like, just examples of, like, internet friends who've been really far away.
Oh, no, I have a good example. So, I was a part of a documentary called What It Takes. With three of my closest friends, not in proximity, but I'm in Minnesota, and then we have Aaron, who is in Kansas, Chloe, who is in Vegas, and Juice, who is in Texas. And we had not met, but we made a documentary together because of YouTube, and we were so far apart, and, like, I just think that's amazing that we never were once in the same room, and we made this cool thing together. It's about to follow YouTubers, youtube.com/breakinggbk, that's where it's at. But yeah, it's so cool.
But for the most part, my internet friendships, although amazing and lovely, our internet friendships, and like most friendships, they're not much of note. It's just we make stupid jokes at each other and laugh, and it's good fun.
I feel like I have an interesting example of this. Because I mean, I'm from Australia, and the only reason I'm here at the moment, and I came to VidCon last year, is because I wanted to hang out with my buds, you know? It's quite an expensive trip, but I worked a couple of jobs and I made it happen because what I cared about is meeting up with those people who I really love, who I met through the internet and who all came from YouTube. And now I'm going to go stay with friends in New York and in Chicago and visit those cities because of these, you know, people who I've gotten to know by making puns in Tumblr asks, you know?
That's a good, you mentioned Tumblr. Do you think that these sorts of relationships start mostly on YouTube or Tumblr or some other?
Twitter.
I don't know how to make
Fight.
I don't think I've made a single Tumblr.
Slide into those DMs though.
I don't know how to do it. I'm like, let's be friends, and then I just follow my own advice.
Picture of like a cat or something, then you'll best buy.
We're just kidding. We're friends because of Tumblr, sorry.
Thanks.
Stop.
Do you guys like to speak?
What's happening over there?
I'm kind of like a regular like everything's fine.
We are professionals.
I have a lot of internet relationships and friendships. It's pretty fantastic, but slightly expensive, because in order to see any of them, I have to go visit them. And you mentioned the extent of internet relationships. I have a girlfriend who lives in Louisiana, and I live in New Jersey. That's 1,000 miles away. We're happy.
Basically what everyone else said. It's also really awesome to know, like, wherever you go in the country or wherever, basically, you have a friend there. That's something like that I think is really cool. Like if I go to like Atlanta, I'm like, hey, I can like call this person and be like, hey, let's hang out. Like that's
They're like
really
Pokemon.
cool.
You could just, you're gonna catch them all. You're gonna get friended every
Yeah.
state.
Any North Dakotans in here? None. Okay.
Dude.
North Dakota?
I have a question.
He's from Minnesota. We're both Minnesota.
So the description said that, like, it's talking about too young, but I'm young on YouTube, and no one has ever made me feel too young. Who makes me feel too young?
Well, first off, my story about
Yeah,
this
that's-
just told, shut down.
But Aaron, you got a job. Did something feel too young though?
It's luckily I haven't been. That hasn't been a kind of like a discrimination thing when it comes to jobs. I guess it's because I don't want to like sound like but like I guess the things I make are good, and they're just like, yeah, I want to like they're like, yeah, I want to hire you to do this. I'm like, you know, I'm like 17, right? I've like lost jobs, so like you need to be 18. I'm like, oh, it sucks. But there's definitely like some YouTubers like who are younger on the like 13, 14 who can be made like people think are too young to like make good content, and not just like in like the film side, but like just anything that you do on YouTube. If you're a young person, there are some opportunities that you can get through YouTube that you couldn't get anywhere else because of your age, basically.
I think another thing, like going back to the friendship thing, is like it's relating to this question. Like I have felt like I would like try to make friendships, and then people would like view me as a fan because of, like I'm a young girl, and they would put me on a different level than them, even though I'm someone who's like a content creator and I respect their work and I'd love to talk with them more about life and things. But they're like, oh, little girl. I don't know. Like that.
I think
So-
like, sorry.
Dude, sorry.
YouTube is interesting because you can make friends that span like wide age gaps. I have friends who are like 10 years older than me, but we get along because we have those similar interests and we met through mutual friends and through things like YouTube. But in the same way, there is that sort of, you know, discrimination on feeling too young that you talked about in a very subtle way, I believe. Like in a way, the opinion of, say, a 13-year-old on YouTube isn't going to be taken nearly as seriously as someone who's like in their 30s. And that does come down to the way that we perceive like life experience, and there is some validity in those claims, but in the same way, I feel like as young people, we do deserve to be taken seriously no matter what we say, because it's a unique perspective.
Also, I want to note another thing, because a lot of us here have the luxury of being taken seriously, taken for our word. We're panelists. But I get so many messages in my Tumblr ask box, on Twitter. I feel like a kid. I don't know how to start. I'm afraid to start. I'm afraid people are going to make fun of me for being on YouTube. And that's why I believe that this should be spoken about. The fact that you cannot be actually too young for YouTube. You could be too immature for YouTube. You could be not taking YouTube seriously, too lazy. But when it comes down to it, age is not the majority factor. You can make good content no matter what. And if you ever feel scared about uploading your videos because your birthday happened a little later than everybody else's, don't. As long as it's good, as long as you're proud of it, go for it.
And if you asked your parents first.
Yes. You guys trying to articulate a couple other specific challenges of being young on the platform.
Well, some bigger content creators, even though I don't think they mean to do this, but they do degrade younger people. They're like, oh my god, why are you watching my content? You're like 12. And then those same 12-year-old, 13-year-old kids want to create content and they look up to these people. So hearing bigger YouTubers say something like that can really get into someone who's younger than them. You can get in their head, and then that's when you don't want to create content, and you don't want to start until you're out of high school or you're heading into college and all that stuff. But like, age shouldn't be a factor of what you can do. Now, if you're an immature 12-year-old, that's a different story. But if you think you can do this, you should.
And when it comes down to it, if you start young, you were given all this more time to grow. By the time you're 18 and you're able to work like legitimate jobs, then you have all of this experience, you have this head start. So if you get shut down so early, don't just do the thing.
Yeah, that's interesting because like YouTube is such a learning process, both like as a person and in video quality and content. It's interesting to watch people grow, and I think even when someone is like, oh my gosh, you're 12.9, like you shouldn't be on YouTube. Yeah, but those those people are going to progress as people, and it's interesting to watch. I mean, like I said, don't go back and watch my old videos, but you can definitely see that there's a large progression there, and it's interesting.
Speaking of progression, though, I sometimes get asked like, what kind of camera should I buy or whatever. If you're starting out, you don't need to don't spend a lot of money if you don't know if you like YouTube or not. Like, I waited like a couple of years until I bought my DSLR. But like, you don't even need a DSLR. I have friends who do not have DSLRs and they make amazing videos. Like, your video is not about the quality of the video, but it's about the quality of what you have to say and the passion of what you have to say. And I think some people get caught up in like special effects and editing, and not that stuff isn't cool, because it is, and if that's what you like to do it. But that's not what should stop you.
If you have a smartphone, you already have a better camera than the big people did when they started out.
Yeah.
So there's pretty much nothing stopping you from, well, technical wise, like with equipment, there's nothing really stopping you from starting on YouTube. If there's a will, there's a way.
Do you want to open up for questions?
I guess so.
Michelle?
Hi, I'm Michelle. I know of all of you guys. What's your opinion on cliques of YouTube? Because I know that young people are susceptible to making groups of friends, but because we're also in high school or just starting college or barely out of middle school, we're susceptible to making little groups of friends and not allowing people in. What's your opinion?
What?
In some ways, I feel like that's sort of the nature of friendship and society. Sometimes I do get a little bit worried about how cliquey my group of friends is. But at the same time, I feel like most people are fairly accepting, and it's just one of those things of, finding someone to talk to and who you have similar interests with.
I don't. We're running out.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there another question?
Go on.
Yeah.
Hi. How long did it take you for your parents to accept, how long did it take you to accept, or how long did it take your parents to accept your YouTube stuff?
I had the luxury of having parents who are very into new media. My parents are the ones who got me an email address and just said, use this. And so I was very lucky. Is anyone?
Mom, how long, Mom?
We just started watching the first video. Sounds like a great idea.
Thanks. Don't do it the way I did it. I just kind of like got on the internet without my parents' permission. And just like, I just started watching videos and making videos. I think they just kind of caught on once they heard me like talking to myself in my room. Even our son is crazy, but he's a YouTuber. I just walked into their room once and they had like one of my videos up and I was like, oh, I guess you found my channel.
See, I was a kid who, my parents, I don't know if you guys remember the video Muffins with the guy that That was the first video my parents saw on YouTube. They were convinced everyone was crazy and was going to come murder me. But I would like have Google Hangouts in my room with like my friends over there, hey, what's up? And my parents would be like, oh, these are real people. And my mom came with me to VidCon last year. So I think just like telling your parents what's up and like informing them on what you're doing, like just keep them in the loop, and then
because they care about you, they just want you to be safe, and sadly there are bad things happening on the internet, and they're just looking out for you. But show them how passionate you are about the thing.
They'll love it. I think the gray kid with the glasses should go.
Yes.
Wait, you have a mouse scratcher on, like Parks and Rec.
Great.
Dude!
Okay, I don't know how close to put it. As someone at the very low end of the demographic at 13, I'm not very comfortable being in the 13-year-old demographic because my friends aren't really, I don't feel comfortable as a middle schooler. I relate more to high schoolers, so I'm not sure how I can form this into a question, but I'm like, for me, when you guys were talking about making friends, it's hard for me to make friends. Like, if I say, well, I'm 13, people are like, oh, you're a stupid middle schooler. Which,
prove that wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just like, do I just Twitter message? Like, how does that work?
Oh, this is a thing I did. So, I collabed with Gunnarola one time, but he didn't know how old I was. So when we met up, he was like, oh, you're 16? Oh, wow. I did not know I was on to Catch a Predator. So... But basically, show them that you are an interesting person, and although you would meet up with them immediately, get to know the person, let them know the type of person you are, and then if age just happens to slip in, you should know each other's ages before you meet. But
don't meet in person without a parent.
Can I ask you this quickly? What kind of measures do you guys take to be safe in those types of situations?
Video chat with people, verify that they are who they are, and if you're going to meet somebody, definitely go with a parent.
Or meet in a public place.
Yeah. Never go alone, and always be safe.
Don't give out your social security number.
The Batman shirt right there. Right, yes. Right here.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't see the Batman shirt. Go for it.
Okay. Okay. So back to the content. I was just wondering, like, I'm 14 and like most of my age group, well, girl-wise, makes like, I guess like challenges and like tries to, do all that stuff. So like, do you consider that as like content, or would you consider like vlogging or like other, what do you consider content?
I consider it content.
All content.
Okay.
YouTube is, it's whatever you make it, and your content will speak for itself. I'm answering your question right now because of the younger thing. Your content will speak for itself, basically. Doesn't matter how old you are, if you like think you get put into this box. Just make good stuff, and good people will gravitate towards you. And I mean, I kind of talk stuff about challenges and stuff, but definitely YouTube is for you to put up whatever you want to do. So if you want to make challenges, then do that. If you want to make films, then do that. If you want to make cat videos, do it. If you want to make Lego animations, you're gonna find people that are gonna do the similar things that you do, and it's all about having fun.
I think perception of age is interesting as well, because I tend to not talk about my age much, and then people tend to think of me as like 20, and I freaked people out about it before, and it's fun.
That's all.
Yeah, no, most people are like, you're like 20, 22, right? And I'm like, tone it down like 5 years. But I think the thing is, let your personality speak for itself. You know, make friends regardless, and people are going to, you know, like you or dislike you. And I don't think age should play into it too much.
And if they don't like you, you don't want to be friends with them. You do not want to be friends with them.
Can we go over
genuinely
this
dislike you.
issue?